Knife watch. Let's talk about the Sage 5 Lightweight. This to me is the perfect blade for your office, for your work environment. If you don't need a tough blade, or you don't need a threatening blade, or you don't need something that is gonna scare off other parents when you're with your kids at school or at the park or anything like that. If you want to be in a social environment, to me, this is the very best social blade you can get, Sage 5 Lightweight. So this is from Spyderco. I wanted to talk about this a little bit and tell you 5 things you didn't know about it. Number 1, this is the best office EDC. The reason I say that, and I started the video with that, is because the blade looks kind of dull, from this side. It doesn't have the appearance of a very sharp, scary thing. The size is non-threatening. Let's do a couple of size comparisons here, which is the standard, obviously. Spyderco Paramilitary 2, smaller, okay? Let's break out the Para 3, right? Let's see how it really stacks up. Let's line up those pivots. Almost the exact same size as the Para 3, which is a pretty small blade. But when you're comparing it to the Para 3, which is important, take a look at those blades. Which one of those do you think is going to scare the children? Obviously, this is one of the scariest blades you'll ever see. Looks like it's been through World War III and back. Rex 45, burnt orange, doesn't sound very friendly, but if we're just looking at the shape, right, of these two blades, which one is a leaf for real? This one looks like it's going to do some damage to something intentionally. It's a very piercing type, whereas this seems so much more utilitarian. And the shape of the handle also lends itself to sort of, it just kind of has this relaxing, I would say, a very beautiful flow. It's very peaceful almost. You got a little bit of contouring here, and you got some very, very gentle jimping on this side and that side. Some people would say, it's not good enough, but I think the jimping here is just perfect. So to me, this is the perfect office social blade. It's not going to scare people away. And that's number 2, that leads us to number 2 about why this is the best office EDC blade or social pocket knife for you to walk around with. It's quiet. Nobody ever talks about the sound being a factor when it comes to social situations with your blade. We all like to fidget and flick with them and use them as fidget tools or worry stones. But to me, the sound of this is very light. It's not something that scares people, right? And even when you open it slowly, it's very, very quiet. Compare that to something like a Paramilitary 2, okay? It's got a little bit louder of a lockup, and then when it drops, it just has this, very resounding, I'm locked now, let's take out an XM18, a very, very serious tactical blade, right? Listen to that close. That's me trying to do it quietly. It's just loud. There's nothing you can do about that. With the Sage 5 Lightweight, it just has a thud. It's a very dull thud. That is great for the office. When you want to make a quick cut to an envelope or something and you got people around, you're at the park and you want to cut a thread off of your child's t-shirt, or whatever situation you need, but you don't really want to scare people off, this is socially acceptable because you can slow roll it. It's quiet. I'll talk quietly here. And it's closed, right? You're good. So it's quiet. Number 3 thing you didn't know about the Spyderco Sage 5 Lightweight is, it's lightweight. But some people complain that it wasn't so much more lightweight than the original Spyderco Sage 5. They have one in carbon fiber. They've got all different types. This is, I believe, 13%. Blade HQ said 13% lighter than the original Sage 5, and that's not dramatically lighter. But to me, this is the perfect weight for a social blade as well, because there are people who say, yeah, you know what, it's not that light, it's not lightweight enough, and that is just not good enough for me when I'm in a bug out situation. I want to bug out. Okay. And to that I say, sorry guys. Fine. You want a lightweight blade? Get your Benchmade Mini Bug Out. I mean, it's lighter than the original Bug Out, right? Let's compare these. Now here's my problem with really light blades. Some people say, you know, you'll forget it's in your pocket. That is a disaster for many people, especially people new to the hobby. Having something that is so light is great when you know exactly what your philosophy of use is, right? Nothing fancy, coin that, philosophy of use. You use this when you are going on a marathon race or you're hiking, doing survivalist camping. You'll bring this, something that every single tenth of an ounce matters, in your pocket. For everyday people, this is not a great thing for a couple of reasons. It's not great socially. Number one, you forgetting that a blade is in your pocket is a bad thing, I would argue. If it's distractingly so, where you got brass on an XM18 and you will never forget that it's on you. The benefit of having something heavy is that you don't forget you have it on you when something awkward can happen. For example, with this small clip here, this could fall out of your pocket. You've dropped a blade on the floor, and you know when you drop a blade on the floor, it is easy to be deployed sometimes. When you drop something like this on the floor, when you drop a knife on the floor, it is embarrassing in social situations. So forgetting it's in your pocket and dropping it or it falling out is not good socially. The other thing is you could lose it. Losing your blade in a public situation is also bad, whether you just lose your knife and you never see it again and you get depressed because you got to save up another $100 or so to replace that bug out. That's bad. But also, what if the wrong person finds it? Okay, that's bad for society. What if somebody you know finds it? What if somebody who was uncomfortable with blades finds out that this was yours and you dropped it in a social situation, say at the park with your kids, and your kids' friends' parents find out? I mean, these are just awkward situations. Let's say you're at a party and you drop a blade or you lose a blade. Forgetting you have a knife on you is not excellent to me. It's just not. This is the perfect weight because it is not ridiculously light. It is just light enough that you know it's still in your pocket, but you also are never going to be bothered by it. And I mean never. It is just the perfect weight. Gym shorts, totally fine. Basketball shorts, totally fine. Soccer shorts, totally fine. Sweatpants, totally fine. You know, skinny jeans, totally fine. Cargo pants, totally fine. Slacks, wearing a tux. This is going to be great. And that brings us to number 4 thing you didn't know about the Spyderco Sage 5 Lightweight is it is an excellent social blade, the best social blade to me, because it is dressy. Yeah, this is actually an affordable dress knife. Okay, let's talk about that. What is considered a dress knife, right? Something you can bring to a social situation, probably show off to your friends. Let me get an example here. Sorry for the pauses, guys. So probably the most modular, just any situation, a Chris Reeve blade is going to be a good formal blade because it's beautiful. I mean, it's just like the lines. The Sebenzos, they just look like new cars, They just have these. When you pull this out at a cocktail party or you're amongst friends and, people are comparing different gear that they carry, or you are just around upscale people, this is going to look like you are just a very sophisticated person. This doesn't look like something anybody found in a dumpster. And that comes with, its classiness, its build, its beauty, the way it plays in the light. Could talk about this all day, right? Any Sebenza, any Chris Reeve blade is automatically going to be probably a dress blade. That's what I mean by dressy, okay? A church blade. Some people say a temple blade or, To me, this is the most affordable dress blade you can have. Look at the light play on this FRN. Okay, let's see if I can get this playing in the light. You see how they've got this contrasting bidirectional on the scales, this bidirectional texturing. That is fantastic because when I'm pushing my thumb up on here, it's not going anywhere, right? And that's great. Right? When I want to hold it like this, or I've got my fingers here, it's not going up, so my thumb will never go up towards the blade and accidentally slip and cut my finger. And on the converse side, if it's in pocket, this beautiful wire clip, it's not going to fight against my pants because it's got this perfect smoothness on top of this texturing. So it has that light play. It goes in and out of the pocket well. And again, it is socially acceptable. It doesn't look weird. And the satin finish on this blade is beautiful. That is very dressy to me. This is obviously, it's a Spyderco, so it's made for function over just beauty. Yet that is really pretty. It's really something that I take, when I take pictures of it, I just can't believe how good it looks. The Sage 5 lightweights in particular, they really nailed this as a dress blade too. So the most affordable formal blade, I give it that tab as well. And let's take it to number 5, the 5th thing that you didn't know about the Spyderco Sage 5 lightweight. Yeah, a lot of people compare this other knife or this to maybe something like the Manix 2, right? Look at those leaf blades. They're very similar, right? Now, the 5th thing you didn't know about it is a lot of people think that the Spyderco Shaman is in the family of the natives. I don't think so, okay? I think that the Spyderco Sage 5 lightweight is the perfect mini Shaman. If you like the Spyderco Shaman and you've never tried a Sage 5, especially the Sage 5 lightweight, if you even remotely like the Shaman, you will love, and I mean love, the Sage 5 lightweight. Let's take a look at all the ways that they are similar. First of all, they're both compression locks, so they both have that drop shut action. People complained about the Shaman having that nub. By nub, I mean this tip here. I had mine shaved off here. Can you see that? So when you would drop the blade in the compression lock, that nub would come back and hit you in the finger, and it hurts, you know, if you do it too many times in a day. And we know we all flip too much, but it doesn't kill you, but it's uncomfortable. This also has that, so that looks like a copy. Look at these forward finger choils. They are perfect, just looks like a scaled down version. These blade shapes look identical to me. I don't know, you know, just the way that they're formatted looks perfect in comparison. Let's talk about the ergonomic and contoured handle scales. Yeah, a ton of similarity. I'd say that the giveaway here is this small contouring here, and the FRN here looks just like the design for the entire Shaman. It looks like they took both of these blades and say, how can we make these families to each other? And what is a sage? A sage is somebody who's got brilliance, even probably to a magical state. And a shaman is somebody who's got brilliance to a magical state where they use it to help other people. To me, the shaman is like, I'm gonna go to work and save the world, like a shaman would for their society or their neighborhood. And a sage is somebody who's like, I'm going to save who I can. So I think that these are actually brothers or sisters, as you put it. And a lot of people don't realize it. They think that the shaman is part of the native series. I don't really think so. I think that the only relation that this Shaman really has with its compression lock is this Sage 5. And the Sage 5 lightweight is the best rendition. So that's all I got to say for you guys. Hopefully those are 5 things you didn't know about the Sage 5 lightweight. Otherwise, you just got to spend about 14 minutes staring at this beautifully wonderful Spyderco. Knife Watch out.